Well, welcome back everyone to Ted Talks Guitars and Life. So in this video what we're going to do is we are going to walk through or talk through upgrading the electronics on the Fesley Deluxe Edition T-style guitar, Telecaster. And the decisions that I've made, why I've made them, and we'll look at some parts and we'll have a discussion about an approach to building this kit guitar with these upgrades in mind. And after we've done that, maybe we'll have time in this video to actually get some work done. Stick around, it's going to be fun. Well, welcome back. Let's talk electronics and upgrades and a couple of hardware things. So these are the parts that came originally in the Fesley Deluxe Edition Telecaster kit that I purchased for my grandson, which is sadly attempting to be painted orange. That's a whole different deal, whole different video. Really don't want to talk about it. I'd love to talk about it, but this ain't the forum. So these are the guts, the electronics out of the DIY Telecaster build T-style guitar. And this model is plug and play. I was talking to somebody this morning in the comments of another video that I'd made, and they had talked about how they had a failed attempt at electronics and had recently purchased some non-soldering electronics. So when people talk about non-soldering required electronics, this is what they mean. Okay, so for example, this is the, and if you've seen the unboxing and the under the hood vids, then you've already seen all this. So just bear with me just for a second. For those of you who haven't, hey, if it's your first time on the channel, or if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, man, it'd be great if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. That just lets me know kind of what videos people are interested in. I certainly don't have to film all this, although I'm doing it for prosperity for my grandson anyway. So I probably will film it and probably will post it. But love to have you like it if you like this kind of content, and have you subscribe. Come on back and hang out at Ted Talks Guitars and Life. So in the non-soldering arena of life, there is an instruction manual that comes with the guitar, and it has some pictures about what plugs into where. And so if you're not into soldering, this might be a route for you. I am opting to replace everything that you see on the napkin here. Now, should you do that? Okay, so the mantra of the channel is you do you. The second, equally important, is nothing I do is prescriptive for you, just descriptive of my journey. So this is just going to be my thing. I'm not saying that you should do this, that you must do that. Truthfully, I posted a vid of me playing the guitar. So what I did is I put it together and I set it up and I played it, and I posted some vids about that. You can check that out in the description below under the playlist for the Fesley Deluxe Edition Telecaster. And I had a couple people comment, hey man, pickups don't sound bad. So these are called dime size pots as opposed to full size pots. Okay. These are 250K pots. These are also labeled 250K pots. And I think they're both made by the same company. The branding is not the same. These are unbranded on the back, although I know that these are floor equipment. That's FLEOR, not a sponsored video. Everything that you see before you, I've purchased with my own money. Nobody sent me any of these parts. Nobody's asked me to review anything. This is just one man's journey. So the pots that I'm going to put in are from Fleor, F-L-E-O-R. And so these may very well be Fleor dime-sized pots. I don't know. They're labeled Y-A-R-F, YARF, and then there's something written under YARF that I can't make out. Looks like some kind of number, model number. So these are called dime-sized pots. This is called a box switch. And a lot of import guitars have these box switches on them. This is what switches the guitar from the neck position to the middle position to the bridge position. Okay. This guitar also came pre-wired with a single point of connectivity output jack. Okay. It came with these basic ceramic kind of pickups. And as I said in the playing video, I put this together, I played it, I posted, and I had some people say, hey man, it doesn't sound horrible. I mean, it doesn't sound too bad to me. And it was a whole range of thoughts and opinions about the tone and those kinds of things. So let me say just as clearly as I can say it. If you buy this guitar and you you build it, and if this guitar sounds good to your ears with these pickups, this switch functions for you, you don't have any problem. If the pots seem responsive to you and you dig the way that's working out, and if you don't have any problems with the output jack, guess what? Don't replace parts unless you have a reason to replace them. I know that sounds a little prescriptive. I don't mean that. That's an encouragement more than anything. Because, man, these are inexpensive parts. Some people would use a derogatory term like these are cheap parts. They're certainly inexpensive parts. You know, I got this kit for $119, you know, so let's don't expect the world on that deal, right? So that's kind of to be expected. Now, again, everything about guitar playing is player preference. If these parts work for you functionally, if these parts sound good to your ears, if the guitar feels good in your hands, if you want to pick it up and play it, rock on with your bad self, man. You do you. Don't replace anything that you haven't evaluated and may have reason for. So, for me, I have purchased this kit build for my grandson. This is my third guitar that I'm making for a third grandchild who has shown interest in electric guitar, so his poppy's gonna hook him up with a sweet Telecaster, man. You know he is, Jack. And unfortunately, I'm gonna try to paint it orange. Don't tell anybody. It's not going well. So I'm setting all these to the side for my purposes. I am not going to retain any of this. Now again, I'm not saying it's bad. Okay, I'm not saying that you would need to replace it. I'm just saying for my purposes. So the purpose of this video is to walk through what I'm upgrading, why I'm upgrading it, how I'm upgrading it, and if we have a little bit of time toward the end, maybe do some actual work. Okay, so I'm going to set all this to the side, and it's going to end up in a box of parts that looks something like this, where I have sundry switches and pots and saddles and all the things that have come, tuners and, you know, all the things, okay, that come with, that have been on other budget model guitars. And when I say budget model, for me, in this season, budget to me means under $350, really under $250. That's just my point of view. Okay, what I'm retaining from the kit build are the hardware of the knobs, the output jack plate, the bridge, the neck plate just going to work fine. The control panel, that'll work fine. And the bridge plate. Now this is not, it came with all 3 saddles. I've taken one off because one of the things about this that was kind of frustrating is that because it has 3 screws that on this end of the bridge that hold it, connect it to the body of the guitar, that screw hole right here lives under the saddle. So when the saddle is installed, man, you can't get that screw out. Thus, the saddle is no longer with us. Okay? The other thing, man, is that, I don't know if you can tell this, but this is kind of the way you tell kind of inexpensive, pardon the expression, cheap parts, is you see how there are scratches under the saddle screws. So you don't really want that, man. You don't want to look down and see that kind of ugliness. I don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe you can in the shot. See how it's looks kind of like a bronze spots. So that's not cool. That said, it's not a flimsy bridge plate. I mean, I can't bend it or anything. It's not a full ashtray. So an ashtray would indicate that it would have sides like the back, and it would look like an old cigar ashtray that people had back in the day. Okay, so the bridge plate I'm going to keep. We're talking about hardware, right? I'm going to keep the strap buttons. Those will be fine. I am going to replace the saddles with Goto. Hey guys, you're going to see all kind of brand name products on my desk. You're going to see strings over there, my drill, my screwdrivers, Armor All. I mean, you're going to see product stuff, okay? Listen, I bought all this stuff. This is not an endorsement for the stuff that I've purchased. This is not me trying to get you to buy an Armor All screwdriver. This is not a sponsored video, okay? I need to say that because a lot of people just make a lot of assumptions about YouTubers and why we do what we do. I've only reviewed one product to date on the channel, and that was a sweet Tease guitar, Telecaster. Check it out in the playlist below. Goto is my go-to. These are called brass compensated saddles. And so what they do, because of the way that the grooves are grooved into the brass saddles, and a lot of people say that, and there's all kind of debate about everything, right, with guitars and life and football teams and baseball teams. Sad day for your Baltimore Orioles fan. Cry a tear for me, man. Sad day. But anyway, life goes on. A lot of people say brass will give you a better tone. A lot of people say it doesn't matter. So pay your penny, take your pick on that deal. However, the grooves in these saddles help with intonation much better than these. That's my personal conclusion, not prescriptive to you. If you buy this guitar and these saddles work well for you, if you can intonate the guitar where you've got the same pitch with an open E string as an E fretted on the 12th fret of the guitar, and it's perfectly in tune in both places, rock on with your bad selves, man. Keep those saddles. Ain't nobody mad at you. Okay, for me though, because this is for my grandson, again, I'm setting this guitar up for me. It's going to be set up with my player preferences. He doesn't play yet. He has no preferences. But I'm going to give it to him, man, as gig ready as it can be. If I was playing a men's retreat next weekend, I would take the guitar out. That's what I'm saying. I want it set up for my player preferences, and, so anyway, that's the whole purpose of the project. So hardware-wise, the screws, the screws that held the bridge plate on are pretty short. I think they weren't even really like a full half-inch, and so I'm going to more than likely put 1-inch screws in. Not that it's necessary. This is a top-loading bridge, So that means that the string, the ball of the string will go here, and it doesn't go through the body of the guitar. Okay, so there you go. Life is good. All right, I'm going to set this hardware to the side for a minute. Going to set this hardware to the side. Now the surprising thing about the control plate, this is a full-size pot. Now I have bought other budget guitars, and I'm not going to, there are playlists below, I'm not going to get into all of it, okay? And on some of those, the control plate that comes with the guitar, this hole is smaller. And so I have actually had to bore that hole out occasionally, okay? And so these are full size, if you will. That's probably, let's see what we're rocking here. Yeah, it's pretty much a 10. It's about a 9 mil hole. That's weird. Anyway, something in there. But the good news is the pot fits in. Now, one thing to notice about pots is that you see this lip right here that sticks up on the side? So on some control plates, you would not only see this hole, but you would see a secondary hole below it or behind it, just depends. Usually it'll be on either the top or the bottom. It depends on how you hold this as to what's the top and what's the bottom, but for our purposes, this is the top and this is the bottom. This is where your switch is, and these are your pots. Typically, usually volume and tone. So that hole, because when you install the pot, you want it to install with these 3 prongs in the middle, facing the middle. Facing each other is my player preference. I've seen it different ways, but I place them in the control plate panel like that, okay? Because they're going to be connected in a couple ways, and then everything's going to connect to the 3-way wafer switch, which we'll talk about in a moment, and also the the output jack. Okay. Now, you may notice some wobbliness, okay? So when you have these pots, typically in a control plate, you would have a hole, so for the purpose of demonstration, on the top here. And that would accommodate this little snubby thing here. Okay, but you see right now where it doesn't go flush. So what you can do, pardon the wheelie sounds, popping wheelies. Where is this guy? He's not even in the video. I'm right here. Not an endorsement for Ernie Ball, just in case. Nobody panic. Not a sponsored video. All right, so snips. So if you have some flat snips like this, or I have larger ones like this, you could also do it with needle nose pliers. My safety goggles are outside in the paint area, so I would recommend that you wear safety goggles anytime you're safety glasses anytime you're going to do something like I'm about to do. I'm going to close my eyes and do it. If something happens, don't tell my wife. Okay, so you should just be able to grab this and just break it. Okay, comes right off. Now, sometimes when you do that, what I like about this one is you'll see that it's even on both sides. Sometimes, if it didn't have this extra buildup on this side, then you'd have a little hump right here, and you would have to sand that or file that. You probably need a a file of some kind. I don't think sandpaper would be a very, you might be able to get it done, but it wouldn't be very effective. So you may need a tool like a file for something like that. Okay. The other tools you'll need to do what I'm going to be walking you through, obviously the snips came in handy. We actually used the needle nose, didn't we? But I could have done that with either one of these snips. Okay. Snips, screwdriver. You would need a soldering iron for what I'm going to get into in a minute. I would recommend some kind of a 10 millimeter socket wrench, or something like this. This is a 10 mil socket wrench. In a pinch, needle nose pliers works just fine. Okay, so now it. I just realized I said something without checking to see if that was, well, I don't have the nuts are in a different bag. These are the stock nuts, and they're a little too big. So I've got a bag of tricks here. When you purchase, so I've got, different nut sizes. When you purchase pots, you may or may not need to purchase the washer and the nuts. Typically, they would come with a washer and a nut on it. And I don't remember if these did and I've taken them off or swapped them or what I've done. Sometimes I do shady things like that. Oh, we might as well snip this while we're at it. So you will need a soldering iron to do what I'm going to do. And if you've never soldered before, man, don't be afraid, dude. About 9 months ago, I soldered for the first time. The first pickup swap I did was EMG, very expensive EMG, like $189 EMG pickups. I put them in a Telecaster. EMG pickups, some would say don't belong in a Telecaster. The only reason I bought those is because they were plug and play, like this thing, because I was afraid of soldering 9 months ago. Live and learn, my friends. So, bridge plate. So basically, you want to line these up where these are parallel. This is just not prescriptive, just the way I do it. By the way, these are both B pots. You can buy A and B pots, and you can Google the difference and get into that all you want to. For our purposes, I'm just going to tell you I got the B. Okay? And then I will have to go to my little bag of tricks and get a washer and a nut and make sure that I have that about where I want it, because what's going to happen is eventually I'm going to put these knobs on there, and wherever you want, however much clearance you want from the control plate to the knob, you may have to add a washer. You could put one under this, perhaps. It depends. Okay, a lot of this just depends on the parts, guys, just truthfully. So you may not need to add a nut under the plate and then a nut on top to lock it down, or you may. It just depends on where you want that knob, how flush you want it to be. And you don't want it to be sitting on this, because then you're going to scratch your control plate up like I'm doing. Oh, my grandson's guitar. Poppy, how'd your guitar get all these scratches? I don't know. I guess it came that way. No, I'll tell the truth and shame the devil, man. That's what we do at TED Talks, Guitars and Life. Wafer switch. So I prefer these switchcraft kind of looking things. I believe this is a Musicali switch. You could Google that. You could look at them on Amazon. You can find probably 8 different versions of this. By the way, these pots together, $6. This is $8, I'm pretty sure. The capacitors that I'll talk about in a minute, I think both of these together were $6. This is a pure tone output jack. I think that was somewhere in the ballpark of $8 too. But you might be able to find deals. This is not a sponsored Amazon video. I'm just saying Prime Days in October are coming, October 8 and 9 apparently. So yeah, the switch basically sits in here, and then it has two screws that line up, and usually sorry about that noise. A wafer switch like this will come with both a tip, top hat, or some kind of, deal, and a couple screws. Okay. Capacitor. My player preference is 47 capacitors. Okay. Now, that's just me. You can get 47, you can get 22. You're just going to have to Google that and watch other vids to get a technical explanation. We don't have that kind of time. All I know is I like the way these sound. Remember, all of this is about what sounds good to your ears. These feel good to me. I don't think we're going to have time to do soldering today. I'm still just trying to get through explanation. By the way, some people who are new to the channel say, man, that guy talked for 20 minutes and didn't do anything. Guys, the name of the channel is Ted Talks Guitars in Life. Not Ted Plays Guitars, not Ted Repairs Guitars. Although I do play and do repairs and reviews and all that. Okay. Pickups. So I am going to put the R-Tech Big Pole neck pickup in my grandson's Telecaster, because if it were my Telecaster, that is the pickup I would put it in. This is $27 probably on Amazon. This is another Fleur. This is just a bridge pickup. I like the brass plate. I do like that, and you'll see that the colors are different, which for those of you who are going to be attempting to solder at some point in your life will appreciate the fact that those wires are different colors. One for the neck and one for the bridge. Even if you don't know where to put them right now, it's all good. And they are magnetic, so try to keep them away from things that are metal and away from each other. In fact, the bridge, I thought this was funny, man. It came wrapped in this, in the bag. The other one came wrapped in this. So, okay. The last thing, I guess, for show and tell, well, I've got two things in front of me. One is, so because I'm painting my grandson's guitar orange, and his school colors and your Baltimore Oriole colors are black and orange, I want to put a black pick guard on it. It came, if you didn't see the unboxing or under the hood, it came with this kind of 3-ply white. I'm going to put black on an orange guitar, so kind of the reverse of that, right? Okay. So yeah, maybe in another video I'll actually put the neck pickup in this. I intend to do that on this, but I haven't looked at the time of this video because I can't talk and look at parts and chew gum and not scratch things, and sun's in my eyes and the wind's blowing my hair and all that stuff at the same time. Last item that I'll just mention, let me go back to the jack for a minute. So this is the output jack. And one of the things that I mentioned when I was talking about the output jack that came stock in the kit guitar is that it has, hello, here we go. So it has 1 point of connectivity. Some people, well, technically 2, okay, top and bottom. If you get the cord set in there, that'll go in the groove of the, I don't have one handy, of the guitar cord. Okay, that connectivity is very important. The Pure Tone output jack, not sponsored video, has 3, well, depends on how you count them, but it has many more points of connectivity. So when you put that guitar cord in there, man, it snaps in, it is in there, it is secure. and it's got greater connectivity. You may or may not need that, but just so you know, pure tone output jack, probably anywhere from $8 to $15, depending on how soon you want it and who's got it. They come in different colors. All this stuff comes in different colors. If my buddy J-Man were doing this video, he would probably say, get black everything. Which, by the way, J-Man, if you're watching, dude, would have been sweet on this orange guitar. But I've already spent more money on paint. So I've replaced the wire when I do electronics because, one, I am new to soldering. I've only been doing it for about 9 months. 2, I really don't enjoy trying to strip wire. Those all have ends on them or are already cut. I don't, if there's anything about soldering that I don't like, it's cutting back wire that is not, 1, pre-tinned, and 2, pushback. Okay, so this is a cloth wrapped wire. Okay, that will help you with your grounding and your sound, and I'm sure there's debates about that you can read anywhere online. So this is from Alnicove. This is 3.3 feet of pre-tinned guitar wire. So what that means is that they have already put solder on the wire, so that when I go to solder this to something else that has solder on it inside the guitar, the connectivity will just be easier. Okay. The other thing is that after you solder it, then you can kind of you push it back, you solder it, and then you push it forward, so that you don't have exposed wires, or it reduces the number of exposed wires in your control plate cavity. Well, my goodness, guys, I think all I did is talk through the parts, but my approach is very simple. I want to make this guitar the way I would want it for me. Again, the key takeaways from this video: everything about guitar playing is player preference. Go by what sounds good to your ears, what feels good in your hands, what you dig. Man, if you got a guitar that you can't walk by it, not want to pick it up and play it, that's your ride, man. That's your ride and die right there, man, for sure. Rock on with your best selves on that deal. But this is just going to be my approach, and maybe I'll make another video where I actually solder all the things and put the pickups on the bridge plate and all that, and install the Goto brass saddles. Now, maybe I should ask you guys, would you be interested in me doing that? I mean, do you care at all? Look, there's all kind of videos on YouTube. I'm sure you can find 8,000 other people who could post a video about doing this. I will more than likely video it for prosperity and for my grandson. When I give him the guitar, I will give him access to all these videos. Because I want him to see everything under the hood and all that. But yeah, man, if you'd like to see videos where me solder this stuff up and me install Goto brass compensated saddles and me install the pickups on this guitar, once I get the body painted, which is quite the undertaking, man, let me know. Drop me a comment and say, dude, I tell you what, man, at least for me, I'd love to see you do that, man. That'd be really helpful. And if this video is helping you, man, let me know about that, man. Well, wherever you are in your guitar journey, man, I pray it's a long, smooth, safe, joy-filled ride for you, Jack. Rock on with your bad selves. I'll catch you down the road.